Hello, welcome to our channel Elimika Mtandaoni. My name is Agustino Mokosi. In today's lecture, we will discuss about data analysis using SPSS. To start with, we'll start with an overview of SPSS. What is SPSS and why should we use SPSS? In fact, SPSS stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. And why should we use SPSS? Actually, SPSS is a data analysis tool. It is used for the analysis of data. Speaking of the word analysis, it means that you have your data, then you want to make sense out of such data. You have to get meaning of the data that you have collected. So you may be doing a certain research and you want to get to know or to get the meaning that is hidden in the data that you have collected. There is where if such data are quantitative in nature, then there is where you can use a software that is called the SPSS, that stands for Statistical Package for Social Sciences. Actually, this is a full package for analysis. If you want to do quantitative analysis of your data, then this is the best tool that you can use. It is now more advanced. There are a number of versions that you can use that will support the analysis of your data. The current version that we'll use in this series of lectures is version IBM SPSS Statistics version 25. Actually, with the SPSS, you can have access of data from many sources. You can access data from spreadsheets such as Microsoft Excel and many different database software such as Access, SQL Server, MySQL, etc. And it is very easy to use, and it is flexible, and it supports a number of analysis, different types of analysis, starting with the descriptive analysis, descriptive, predictive, forecasting, and even optimization statistics. You can use these to perform even data analytics. So how do we start Microsoft or IBM SPSS Statistics? At first, you need to go to your all programs, then you type SPSS. You will find SPSS just like that's in there. So you click that SPSS while waiting for it to open. Opening SPSS. After you have opened your SPSS, then you will find that SPSS has a number of windows that are available to it. So here we have we are opening this application, IBM SPSS Statistics. It takes some time. Now it is opening. So we have that IBM SPSS Statistics. We'll just look. You'll find that it opens like that. Here you have IBM SPSS Statistics with this current window that you are seeing here is called the data editor window. SPSS has a number of windows. We have what we call output windows, we have what we call data editor window, and we have syntax window. So we'll start with this data editor window. As you can see, data editor window is divided into two other windows. This first window here is called the a variable view, and the other one, it is called the data view. Now, if before you analyze your SPSS, your data using SPSS, what you actually do is to define your variables. For example, you have collected your data using, let's say, a questionnaire. After you have collected your data, then you want to define such data in this software so that you can do your analysis. So defining a variable, you have to open data editor window, which is called a variable view window. Now here you will find that there are a number of characteristics. Once you define a variable, that variable you can set a number of characteristics that will be defining such a variable. For example, you may have a variable that is called gender. Gender, that means you have asked a question using your questionnaire, then you want to know the gender of the person from whom you are inquiring information from. So the name of your variable can be gender. Then you decide on the type of data that will be collected. We have a number of data types in IBM SPSS Statistics. As you have seen, I have clicked this box here to see a number of types of variables in IBM SPSS Statistics. So in this case, in case of this gender, we'll try to use numeric data type. That means we will say whether this person is a male or female, but we will assign some numerical value to the values. For example, for male we will present with a 0 number, and for female we will present with a 1. So how do we define the values? As you have defined your variable gender here, you will find another characteristics called the values. As you can see here, now it shows there is none, but you can define it by clicking first there, then click this box here. You will be given a dialog box that will allow you to define your values. For example, if we say 1 should represent male, then we write 1, and in the label we write it male. So we click add. Then values, we put 0 to represent female, then this label will be female. We add like that. So we click OK. Now you will see that values of the variable gender have been defined. So we can set this to 0 decimal places. That means we don't have to have decimal places. As you can see, we have 0 and 1 here. Okay. Now another important thing is the label of this. For example, this was from a question, what is your gender? So for example, you had a question like this in your questionnaire, then you can use that question as your label. Okay. Now another important characteristic that we need to put in defining a variable, it is the measure. You remember the scale of measurement. We have 4 scale of measurements. We have nominal, we have ordinal, we have ratio and interval. In IBM SPSS Statistics, ratio and interval are known as scale, and we have ordinal and the nominal. So with this kind of data, that is gender, since there is no any kind of ordering, so since there is no any kind of ordering, then this one here will be as we'll take it as a nominal. The difference between a nominal measure and ordinal measure, it means that they are both categorical data, but the difference is one has order and another one does not have ordering. For example, if you're talking about height of a person, if you mentioned short, maybe shorter, short, tall, taller, tallest, then you can see there is a kind of leveling, there is a kind of ordering that is found there. So if there is a kind of ordering, then that kind of data will be called ordinal. But if there is no kind of ordering, it is categorical. That means it has categorical values, but there is no ordering. That kind of variable will be called ordinal. So here we have defined one variable and we have called it gender. We can go and define another. We can define another variable. For example, here we want to know the marital status of this person whom we are asking questions. So we write marital status, that is marital status, but writing a variable has some rules that you need to follow. A variable name should be a name, first of all, it should be unique, it should be identifiable, and writing it, you don't have to put, you don't have to leave a space between the words. For example, if you write marital status as it is seen here, this is not the way we write. It will result into an error. So if you click this, as you can see, say variable name contains an illegal character. So writing a variable name should not include illegal characters. For example, examples of illegal characters, for example, you cannot put a question mark between two names that make a variable, or you cannot put a space between two names that make a variable. But how you can do this? You can use an underscore. For example, here we want to write marital status. So this here we can put an underscore, and this will be a proper variable name. Again, this we can set it also to be a numeric value with no decimal places, so we remove decimal places, and here we can say what is your marital status. What is your marital status? And here we can define values. For example, speaking of marital status, somebody can be married, can be divorced, can be single. So we can define here, putting values. We can decide a value of 0 to represent let's say married. Married. And we add a value of 1 can represent, let's say, divorced. Value of 1 add, and value of 2 to represent, let's say, single. So here you have defined the values of your. That means a person once inputting data in your IBM SPSS Statistics for analysis, then that person will decide to select whether he or she is married, divorced, or single. So here we say okay again, and what type of data will this be? Then here we will also say this is nominal data, since there is no any kind of ordering in such kind of data that will be taken by this variable called marital status. Now let us talk about height. For example, we say we want to measure the height of a person. This is obvious, this is numeric, and a height of a person, we can decide that person to have we can measure up to 2 decimal places. So we can leave this to be 2 decimal places. This here we can write just what is your height or the height. Then with the height we don't have to add any values, simply because there are no known values in this kind of variable. So the person once inputting data into IBM SPSS Statistics will just input data as continuous data. Now when we come to this measure, here we'll select scale, simply because this is a continuous variable. That means it takes a number that can be shown in a continuum. That means you can have a number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and there can be numbers between. So we are talking, whether we are talking of a ratio number or an interval number. So the sum here we will write, this is weight, this is weight, this is obvious also, numeric. Then we can put a label here as weight. Then there is no need to define, and here this also will be scale. So this part of IBM SPSS Statistics that is called variable view, it is used to define variables, to define your variables. Like you are coding your variables, you are giving you are assigning some numerical values to your variables. Now if we want to enter data so that we can perform the analysis, data is entered in another window that is called the data view. So if you open the data view, you will find that those variables that you have defined, are seen there as columns. So here you can add your values. For example, deciding to say this person here is a male and he is married. So decide to take married. The height of this person, let's say, is 67 centimeters. Then the weight of this person, let's say this is 75 kilogram. For example, this is in kilogram. So we proceed with another person. This will be female. We decide this to be female who is married also, with the height of, let's say, 56 and the weight of, let's say, 67. Again, another female here. We select this is female. This one here is single. This one here is single. Its height, the height is let's say 45, and the weight is 50. The weight is 50. So here we are writing, we are entering the data in IBM SPSS Statistics, ready for us to perform analysis. So this is an introduction video on a series of videos on data analysis using IBM SPSS Statistics. This will be the first video, and the coming video now we will start with the analysis of data. And remember, we have said IBM SPSS Statistics supports a number of statistical techniques, being descriptive, being predictive, forecasting, optimizations, etc. So all those kinds of analysis can be performed using IBM SPSS Statistics. This is Elimika Mtandaoni. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any question, you can ask on the comments section below. Thank you.